And these three are undeniably three of the greatest Chinese philosophers. Lao Ji, Hongji, Confucius, and Makji. These three guys speak in great detail repeatedly about this battle between the Shang dynasty and the Zhao dynasty and all the supernatural phenomena that occurred. And Confucius is not a guy who talks about the supernatural per his normal conduct, but all three of them speak about it repeatedly throughout their life in great detail. I'm only giving you like about 0.1% of the flavor. Okay? They repeatedly give you incredible detail about all the phenomena. Like towards the end of Shang dynasty, Mochi says, Makji says, the red bird descended upon the Shang palace, and the red bird announced that Shang dynasty is going to fall. That the Zhao dynasty was surrounded by phoenixes, and these phoenixes were very special creatures, and it symbolizes that the heavens have decided the Zhao dynasty's time has come to be rulers of China. But bear in mind, at the time the Shang dynasty was so powerful that the Zhao dynasty was only, the Zhao grouping was like 1/10 their size, didn't have the military arms. The ruler of the day was a gentleman known as Zhao Man Wong, who is a benevolent person, a civic gentleman who hated violence, who never carried arms in his life, who believed in universal love. How did these guys, and they were a great agricultural community, but never wanted to go to war. How did they, with 1/10 the population of the Shang dynasty, with virtually no arms, defeat the most powerful standing army of the world? Then you have to attend my next lecture about the Zhao dynasty. Thank you very much.
I have a question. Just last week we were at the Zhengzhou, the capital of Henan, and they have actually discovered the ruin of Shangchen. There's the old fortress of Shang dynasty, and they also say that in that locality, that was the first time where barter trade started in China, and because of that trade, and therefore the nation during that time was given this name Shang. That means the trade, the traders, right? This is how they actually get the name. Your comment, please.
Sorry, you see, I was so carried away, I didn't mention this. They actually had barter trade, but not only did they have barter trade, they had other forms of trade as well. But people had a currency then. The currency was a cowrie shell. It's a kind of shell. And the fact that they used cowrie shell also very interesting, because Shang dynasties ambit, the region in which they ruled, didn't have cowrie shells. So the cowrie shells actually came from foreign places. So they actually were trading with foreigners to get that currency in the first place. To give you an idea of what was happening. But yes, they would trade. But again, to elaborate a little further, trade was existent then, right? But they also survived on agriculture, which they did quite a good job of. It was quite advanced for their time. But on top of that, hunting was also a very major source of food for them, and also for trade, skin, furs, whatever, ivory, all kinds of things. And I forgot to tell you this, it's really important. A lot of people say to me, but Sifu, they talk about all these huge, tigers and what kind of animals in China. How can that be possible? Because, China's tigers are like, in Southeast Asia, they're like 100-pounders, and, they're more like leopards. What you don't realize is 4,000 years ago, the permafrost in Siberia came all the way down to middle China. So the rivers frosted up, even in late autumn or sometimes early spring. The rivers are permanently frozen, and so the terrain for the ambit for the movement of the Siberian tigers and other wild animals actually came as far down south into middle China. So this assumption based on modern knowledge, extrapolating backwards, is wrong, because backwards then it was different. Understand? It was much colder in China then. So they actually had these wild animals inhabiting. During the Shang dynasty, there were many battle formations, And they were not necessarily physical formations, though most of them were. They were also metaphysical formations. Now, the supposed founder of battle formations is an earlier king sage character called Fu Shi. Fu Shi was, way back in time. Obviously, it's hard to place an exact time frame for him, but it's a long time, Huangdi's time. And he created a Pakwa, and it was a battle formation. And out of the Pakwa came many other things, like the Yeking and so forth. But during the Shang dynasty, they actually had battle formations, both physically and metaphysically. And the granddaddy of them all, the greatest grandmaster of them all, is Kyong Tai Kung. And next lecture will be on the early days of the Zhao dynasty. How Zhao defeated Shang dynasty. The battle was called the Battle of Muye. In Cantonese is Mok Ye. Mok means Mok Cheong or Mok Ranch. Ye is in wild. The battle Mok Cheong, Mok Ye, Mok Ye Ji Jin. That's called Mok Cheong Ranch. Mok Ye, Mok Ye Ji Jin. The Battle of Mok Ye is Ye. Wow, Ye sao Ye. Mok Ye Ji Jin is the culmination of a 3-year war and series of battles between the Zhao dynasty and the Shang dynasty. And the Shang dynasty did everything they could to make sure that the Zhao never rose, because they were a vassal state. The Zhao dynasty was under their rule and control, and they did everything to subvert the place, did everything to punish and humiliate Zhao Manwang. Zhao Manwang was taken prisoner for 7 years before the battles even began. He never wanted to have a civil war. He never wanted to be king. It wasn't in his wildest dreams, but he was a man of faith whose ancestors told him that one day he will meet his Sifu, and his Sifu will teach him all about life and lead the Zhao clan into a different era. Now, he was just a man of destiny. Before he met Kyong Tai Kung, actually, he was told to fast, and he was fasted for a long time, and he meditated for a long time. And when he met Kyong Tai Kung, actually the story is a very long and beautiful fable, which I'll leave to next time. But the Zhao dynasty is centered around the early kings, which include Zhao Manwang and his son Zhao Mowang. And Zhao Mowang is another superb legendary figure whose martial arts skill is sort of almost beyond belief, right? It was said of Zhao Mowang. Zhao Manwang is the first. His son Zhao Mowang was the warrior king. He was so incredibly gifted in martial arts that within 100 paces, Pak Po Chi Loi, his flying dart, right, could hit any dart thrown at him within 100 paces in any direction. And within 1,000 paces, his arrow could split another arrow coming in his direction. He's supposed to, in the hunt, with a flock of wild birds, he can shoot 3 birds with 1 arrow. That's why you get the man, the mo. And the history is just incredible. And of course, there's Kyong Tai Kung, who, if he was a human being, he's superhuman. If he was not a human being, he was also the leader of the clan. So he was somebody very special in Chinese history, and also whose knowledge of and wisdom of human affairs as well as military affairs is unsurpassed. All the people that came after him, whether it's Sun Ji and so forth, or whether it's Ji God Liang and many others, they all follow in his footsteps and claim to be in his lineage. Kyong Tai Kung is the progenitor, the founding father of military strategy, of civil strategy, of some people say even espionage, and many incredible skills. Not only did he summon the elements, not only did he summon the best of men, he even summoned people up there to fight for him. So, thank you.
Okay, so with that, we really like to thank Sifu for sharing with us the second part of the lecture series about the Chinese history, especially focusing on the Shang dynasty. Thank you very much, Sifu. Let's give Sifu a big hand.